Count to 5. Hi there and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I'm so glad you joined me today because I'm in my busy, fabulous place. That's right, up in my kitchen. I've got my apron on and I've got a fabulous recipe for you today. Now last week I was in the kitchen again and I made the spicy apricot lamb casserole, and I know a lot of people made it last week because we had some really chilly nights last week and it was perfect for that time of the year. So I'm glad you enjoy it. But we had 3 awesome winners from last week's show, and the gorgeous Wendy O'Brien, Christine Parlett, fabulous you, and the amazing Shirley Martin all have won their own personally signed copy of book 3 coming your way, girlfriend. And of course I'll be giving away something later in the show, as I always do, because I'm always feeling a bit generous on the show. But for today I am super excited about this recipe because it's a little bit left field. It's vegetarian. Now, I love vegetarian food. In fact, I've really lent away from meat a lot as I've got older because I find it a little bit heavy to process. So this is a regular in our house, and I think it might be one in your house too. And I'm telling you right now, hands up for the meat eaters. Yeah, I'm going to convert you. I promise, because this is the most fabulous recipe ever, and it's my vegetable lasagna out of book 1. So this is the book we're going to today, is book 1. The very beginning started over 20 years ago, and there is my fabulous vegetable lasagna. Now, why I love it so much is that it's just bouncing with flavour and it's super easy. But there is steps to it, and I really want to focus on that today, more so than chopping. So what I've done is I've actually prepped up the veggies ahead, and I'll tell you how to do that in a minute. But let's just look at the ingredients. And so I hope you've got pen and paper if you don't have book 1. So I'm going to first of all start off with mushrooms. So we need a cup of mushrooms sliced, because we don't cook them in with the vegetables. They go in at the end. So that's why they're separate. We're going to use some garlic, some no added salt tomatoes, you know, the chopped tomatoes, a little bit of pepper. I've got some no added salt tomato paste as well, some dried basil, parmesan, and I use the Kraft one, you know, the one that you just get off the shelf. So I've got 2 lots of that, and you'll know why in a minute. I've got some cottage cheese. Now that's a low-fat cottage cheese, 500 grams, and of course I've got my pasta and the veggies. So let's start off first of all by just slicing up these mushrooms. I need a cup. All right, so let's get this happening. And what I love about this recipe is that I think sometimes it's really nice just to have a vegetarian day. I really recommend it to you. Give it a try. And I think I'm going to convert a few of you over to vegetarian cooking because it's so yum. It's a little different too, because I'm going to show you how I make the Annette white sauce, or whatever you call it that you normally put into lasagna. I've got a really simple way of doing it, and I think you're going to love it. Okay, so we don't need the chopping board anymore, so let's put it over at the sink. Now, in my bowl of veggies, let me tell you what I've got in here, okay? So this is the pre-cooked. I've diced it up ahead. You know how to dice, don't you? I don't need to show you. So I've got in here, start off with some carrots, pumpkin, celery, red capsicum, corn, peas, and broccoli. And the broccoli is in little florets. And what I mean by little florets is just these little tiny ones, you know, just little bite-sized bits of broccoli, as well as onion. So they're a cup of everything. How easy is that? Except the peas and corn are half a cup each. Now I'm going to put in the cup of mushrooms, and then I'm going to put in this mix, the can of the tomatoes. Now this is it's a good size lasagna, and you'll get 6 serves, and the difficulty rating is 2. So it's not hard at all. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of garlic. I always use the crushed in the jar because it's just super, super easy. A little bit of pepper. And that's it. So now let's just mix that all in. I might actually use my bigger spoon. Okay, so now the idea is this is your filling. So you know how normally you'd make up like a mince mixture? Well, this is kind of your mince. It's all veggies. And I must say, I really love when I get a mouthful of pumpkin in there because I love pumpkin. And I always use Kent, if you're interested. I always find that's a really good one to cook with. All right, so there's our mix done. Hello, that wasn't hard. Just chopped it up in the microwave on high for 8 minutes with a little water, not a lot, and then just drain it and then it's ready to go. Now, my white sauce, this is the Annette special, okay? I love it. Now, straight up, I'm looking at cottage cheese. I want to vomit. I'm sorry. That's what it looks like, baby chuck to me. Let's call it what it is. But when you mix it all together, it is so awesome. So we start with a tablespoon of dried basil. Let me get rid of my messy stuff. In the sink. I'm going to put in 1/3 cup of the parmesan. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a cup of the tomato paste. Now, this is what really, these flavours in with the cottage cheese, trust me, it just takes the whole lasagna up to another level. I know. I'm a little bit impressed with myself because I think it's so great. So remember, it's 500 grams of cottage cheese. So you can see how hard this recipe is. It isn't hard. It's just you've got to get the veggie mix ready, and then you've just got to get your white sauce or whatever you want to call it, the bechamel. It's really the Annette sauce, let's put it that way. My special secret sauce. Okay. There we go, all done. So now the process, and this is what I wanted to really focus on. So here's my lasagna dish. You know, get a large lasagna dish. I'm going to spray it with some cooking spray first, just so the edges don't stick. Perfect. I've got my oven on at 180 degrees because this is going to take about 35 to 40 minutes in the oven. And I'll tell you, there's a little trick that you do afterwards as well. So it actually takes nearly an hour all up. Okay, so what we do first is with this mix, this fabulous mushrooms, remember, pumpkin, carrot, celery, peas, corn, broccoli, it's all in there. I do 1/3 of the mix. Okay, so I'm looking at it now and just judge. I mean, you don't have to be too fanatic, but I say that's about 1/3. It's probably enough just to cover your base. Now I put on 2 large lasagna sheets. Now I've also done this with gluten-free lasagna sheets and it works a treat. Okay, so that's not too hard, is it? Now what we do is with the rest of the vegetables, we halve it. So we do 1/3 there and now we do 1/2. I'm sorry, but how vibrant is this? Okay. A little bit more, I reckon. Looking a bit fabulous. Oh, gosh. This is my dinner tonight, so I'm super excited. Okay, so now we've got to do the secret sauce. And with this, you do 1/2 of it. Okay? So when we first did it, we did 1/3 of the veggies with the 2 sheets of lasagna. Then we did 1/2 of what was left, and now we're going to do 1/2 of this as well. So what I do to make it easier, I just dibby-dob the filling around, and I reckon that's looking pretty good. And then just carefully, because you want it to sit on top of the veggies. You don't want it to kind of all mix through. And this is like your white sauce, but oh, it tastes so fabulous because you know you've really got that fabulous parmesan kicking in as well. Now we put 2 more sheets of lasagna on the top, and then just the rest of it goes in. So it's just follow the recipe. I've say all this in the recipe for you, so you can't fail. Spread that out. The good news is this is only 5.9 grams of fat a serve, 294 calories, so it can fit really well into anyone's healthy eating regime. Super fabulous. So the last bit is you just use up all that's left. Let me scrape it. We're nearly done. I know. How gorgeous is this dish? Spread that over the top. I want all that beautiful cottage cheese mix, my secret sauce we're calling it, over the top. Now, all we have to do is sprinkle 1/4 cup of Parmesan over the top. So there's actually no like grated cheese in this, so it's a little bit different. And if you love lasagna, hello, I have 7 lasagnas. So does that tell you a lot about me? I love a good lasagna. So I've written it down what lasagnas I have for those who love a lasagna. And my little list here, what's it say? Book 1, of course, is the vegetable lasagna. It also has the normal lasagna, which is like a beef lasagna. It is fabulous. Now, book 2 missed out. Don't know what happened there. But book 3 has a chicken and spinach lasagna. It's my mother's favourite thing on the planet. She loves it. Book 4 is gourmet seafood lasagna, and I've actually made that for dinner parties. It's a little bit fabulous. Book 5 has a potato lasagna. Now, my younger daughter Jenna loves that one because instead of using pasta, you actually use slices of potato. So it's really good for people that don't like to eat wheat. Now, book 6 has an awesome lasagna, and it's the chicken and vegetable lasagna. So it's just got the chicken concept of chicken pieces. And book 7, you have to try it. It's the beef and mushroom lasagna. It is so good. Now, we're nearly done. Let me just wash my little fingers. They're a bit mucky. Now, here we go. Lasagna is ready. I'm sorry, how hard was that? Okay, chop it up, boil it up, in it goes, mix it up, bam. So what we do here, to go over the top, I want to show you this little trick. You get some baking paper, yep. Then you get your foil, put it over the top, and put this over the lasagna. I know, I'm a genius to think of it, because what I hate is when you do this. You could do this for all the lasagnas or anything where you've got to put foil over it, and then you pull it up and all the cheese goes with the foil. I'm sorry, I hate that. So this is how you avoid it. So it's going to go in the oven, as I said, 180. Let me chuck it in. Oh my God, it's heavy. I'm going to do 35 and check it. Then what you do is when you've got 35, 40 minutes, depending on how hot your oven is, you then take off the foil and the paper and let it cook in the oven for probably about another 10, 15 minutes, and it just will help it get a little bit browner on the top and cook. The best way to test it is I just get one of my little knives and stick it in it to make sure the pasta's cooked, and you're good to go. Now let me show you, because I made it this morning. So we've got like lasagna coming out of these at the moment, but do we care? No, because we love it. So here it is, already made up. And I'm sorry, it's a really big serve. So I hope you don't mind being full for dinner tonight. But this is the vegetable lasagna. Love it! Now, it is one of those dishes that you don't have to care. You don't have to be a vegetarian to enjoy it. And I'm going to give you, for anyone who wants it, I'm going to give you book 1 because you're getting 2 lasagnas for the price of 1 in this book. How fabulous is that? So what do? Come on now, you girls and boys that have been here a while, you know what you've got to do. You've got to like, share, and then in the comment, you're going to write simply 2 with the number 2, good. So remember hashtag, simply with a Y. If you do Y, it won't work. Simply number 2, good. And you're going to go in and I'm going to pick 3 fabulous people to win book 1, and I will personally sign it. Now, when you look at this sort of recipe, it really isn't hard. Just follow the recipe, because who knew that weight loss could be so deliciously healthy doing it my way. Now, next week's show, I'm going to be out of the kitchen. I've been here for a couple of weeks now. They're moving me out because I want to talk about something really close to my heart, and that is why diets fail. And what do you do instead? I've got it all for you. You have to be there with me next week because it's going to be just really, really good tips and information for you, because I think I was the diet queen and I weighed 100 kilos. So what does that tell you about dieting? So come into my world of healthy living next week. It's going to be awesome. And if you want any more tips or recipes, you know where to go. www.simplytoogood.com.au. And I'm happy because I got dinner tonight already made. Bye guys, it's been great talking to you. Bye.